Assalamu alaikum. My name is Alan Kiesler, and I'm always thinking about Pakistan, although I stay in America. The reason why I'm speaking in English today is because I decided to do this chat today in English. I want to talk about the Enneagram a little bit, and then I will respond to questions. But as usual, first I want to do a little zikr, or recitation of the names of God. Then we'll go immediately into a little bit about the Enneagram. Allah, 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 Allah. Adonai, 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 Adonai. Ikongar, 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 Ikongar. Toi, ni 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 toi, ni. There are so many wonderful names of God in so many different languages. They are all very, very beneficial, the highest benefit. So the Enneagram is a system. Actually, it was received from from Naqshbandi Sufis, and has become very popular in the West, in the United States, in Europe, as a way of understanding different people and why different people are different from each other, and how we can help people who have different Enneagram types better by understanding those types. So there are actually 9 different personality types in this system, divided into 3 categories: people who are gut people, people who are heart people, and people who are head people. That means people who respond in the gut, that is, their immediate response to things and even their ways of making decisions are based on their gut feeling, the feeling in their stomach, you might say, or their immediate bodily response to something. And heart people are more emotional and respond to feelings, and their feelings are important to them, and what other people feel about them are important to them. And head people, they think. They respond based on their analysis rationally of what things are happening. Of course, these are 3 major types, and there are variations, of course, but I've found it extremely helpful to myself, just because I'm clearly a head type. I think about things, and head types have the problem that it's hard for them to make decisions because they consider everything from all the different angles. So it takes them a long time to make decisions. Whereas gut people make decisions very easily, very quickly, just based on their gut feeling. And so in this way, each of these categories I'm studying about, I'm reading, trying to understand more, because it's actually been very helpful to me. I had to make a decision recently, and I think I would have not been able to make the decision. I would have been struggling with it for a long time. But I realized, I'm an Enneagram type head type person who has trouble making decisions. And I also saw a video of Imran Khan in which he said that we should not be afraid of making decisions, because if we don't fail, we'll never learn to succeed. We'll never succeed if we don't make decisions, and we're going to make wrong decisions too. If we're afraid of making wrong decisions, we'll never progress to, accomplish what we really want to accomplish. So that really helped me also. Just make the decision. Make a wrong decision, doesn't matter, but make your decisions, Imran Khan was saying. And that way you'll end up succeeding. if you don't risk failure, you'll never succeed. So in that way, I made a decision, and I didn't regret it afterwards, but I, saw good parts and bad parts of that decision. Whatever decision I had made, there were positive and negative things. But anyway, that was just something I wanted to point out and encourage all of you to study the Enneagram, Enneagram. You can easily find it on the internet, and there's a lot of things. Now, it's not only about personality types. There are many other aspects of the Enneagram also, but this is the aspect of it that I've been studying and found very, very helpful. So I just wanted to share that with you all and encourage everyone to study the Enneagram. And I'm just going to look now to any questions that people have or comments. Just how are you today? I'm fine. I still have a little cough, but other than that, the weather has become warm now here, even hot in California, Northern California, where I live. So I hope that will help me clear up this cough, unless it's caused by, allergies to pollen and things, rather than cold. But I'm pretty good overall. I'm well. Akil Ahmed, how is Trump? Well, Trump is a very interesting person, really. There's different sides of him. And some sides are good and I like, and some sides I don't like and not so good. So as I've said from the beginning, even before he was elected president, I pointed out how there are some things about, I did not vote for him. Some things about him I really don't like his attitude towards the environment, make America great again, but let the environment go to hell. That's sort of appears to be his position. And of course his attitude towards Islam, his misunderstanding of Islam, I don't like at all. Otherwise, I really believe that he is intelligent, and he's not stupid like the mass media portrays him. He's actually very intelligent, and he's very determined and very brave to fight against the satanic cabal. But he's entangled with it somehow. And the thing that really distressed me is when he announced that the Golan Heights are part of Israel and the United States will recognize him. Just his proclamation, that very, very much disturbed me. And I really don't understand why he did it, unless he just believes that Israel is the Holy Land and the Jews have the right to that land, and that land extends beyond the borders of Israel, which it appears to me now he actually believes that, but I don't believe that, unless by Jews you mean the people that really follow the laws of Moses, which is a teaching of justice and truth and kindness, especially to foreigners, believe it or not. The law of Moses specifically orders that visitors, foreigners visiting your land or your home, must be received very graciously, and treated just like your own people. So that's real Judaism, in my opinion, and that's the sort of people that deserve the entire planet, what to speak of a little piece of land like Israel, or a big piece of land. But I don't really think Trump understands that difference between what I call the Zionists, the people who want to control maybe the whole world, not only Israel, and who actually worship Satan. And there are many people, very, very powerful and wealthy people, who actually do that and want to control the entire world. But I don't think Trump is that sort of Zionist. But evidently he does believe that the current Israeli government is the real representation of Judaism, and that it deserves to have more territory than the legal boundaries of the nation of Israel. So that's my comment on Trump. Abdulaziz asks, why don't you use your Muslim name? there are several reasons for that. The main reason is the work that I have been given is to help people of all different religions accept that all the other religions are basically true and they should be accepted, and we should work together with people of all other religions in love and friendship, and not despise, hate other people, especially not fight with them and kill them, which it has gone on for thousands of years on our planet. So the specific work that you can say I've been given it by others, but it's also been my desire since my childhood, since I lived in India and Pakistan and saw how Indians and Pakistanis, based on religion largely, are so inimical to each other. I developed in the childhood the desire to work towards bringing together people of different religions. So because of that, if I used a Muslim name, it would make it much harder for me to work in that non-sectarian mission. That's probably the most important reason. I guess that's enough of a reason. I hope you can understand that. Of course, I understand Islam not to be what most Muslims think. For me, Islam means love, truth, justice, peace, serving others, serving God, of course. Always calling on the name of God, but not only the name of Allah, but the name of God, the name of Adonai, the name of Ekomkar. All these are names of the same God, but they are parts of Islam in my understanding. So for me, it's not very important to use a Muslim name because every name is a Muslim name. Maybe not every name, but all religious names really are Muslim names. If you look at any English name also, it has reference to Islam. It has reference to God. So all names are good. There are many common names maybe that now in English or Western countries are divorced from that spiritual basis, but formerly at least, all names in most languages, most of the names have been related to God, related to Islam. So for me, these distinctions between Muslim name, Christian name, Hindu name, Buddhist name, and people identifying themselves with those names and those religions is a false conception. We don't belong to one religion or another religion. All religion is the same, one religion, Islam, which means surrender to God and peace that comes from that. That is the foundation of every religion. So whatever you call it, in my humble opinion, my understanding, all religions are Islam. There are misunderstandings, of course, in every religion, but actually the foundation is identical. Okay, that was a long answer. How are you, sir? Bahawal Shiraz. I am okay, thank you. Muhammad Iftikhar Mahali also is asking, कैसे मिजाज हैं सर? बिल्कुल ठीक ठाक हूँ, अल्लाह का शुक्र, थोड़ी सी खांसी के अलावा. Achha, more questions. How are you? And greetings. More people asking, how are you? Sometimes we succeed, sometimes we learn, Asif Nawaz says. Yes, that's a very good point. That was exactly what Imran Khan was saying. We may succeed, actually, but we learn more when we fail. And if we don't risk failing, we won't succeed and we won't learn. So we have to take risks, we have to make decisions, we have to go ahead, and we have to fail sometimes, and that way we learn, and that way we succeed. Amir Hud says, try NAC for cough. I don't know what NAC is. If you want to explain that, I'll see if I can get it here, and I can try that. I'm willing to. Salman Shah, your favorite quote from the Urantia book, please. Oh, my goodness. I don't have any quotations on hand, but I can tell you some of the favorite ideas I have. found in the Urantia book. I think probably for me the most significant idea is that there's one God, but there are many subordinate servants of God who are so powerful that they can create universes. So that idea, I'm sure there's a quote from that, but I don't remember the exact words, but these individuals who are so powerful that they can actually create a universe are still servants of God, servants of Allah. So I always thought, because I was raised a Christian, that God created everything. And when I heard this idea from the Urantia book, it's also in other sources too, by the way, it's not unique to the Urantia book, but it really became clear from the Urantia book that there are millions of universes, and every universe has its own creator. And the creator of each universe also creates the laws of that universe, the natural laws. And so they're very, very powerful beings. That only shows how powerful God is, how powerful Allah is, that He has many subordinates who are so powerful they can each create a universe. So some people object to that idea. No, why do you say Allah didn't create the universe? Allah did create everything, but originally He created the creators of the universes and gave them the job of creating the universes. So that's my favorite. Not only, I have so many favorite ideas, but that's one of the ideas that really struck me, and I didn't doubt it. When I read it, I knew it was true. It just made perfect sense to me. Okay, Shahid Sultan, we love you, sir, watching from Mandi, Bahauddin, Punjab, Pakistan. Very nice. Bahauddin Zakaria is one of my favorite saints also. I visited his mazhar in Multan. Let's see. How you feel spiritual journey, Malik Muhammad Uzair, advocate, is asking. Spiritual journey is the purpose of human life. Our real purpose in life is not to make money or to become powerful in society and have people appreciate us and all the things that we imagine are important. They may be important. I'm not saying they're not important. But the real ultimate purpose of human life is a spiritual journey to progress towards God and towards serving God and serving humanity and all of creation. I hope that's what your question was about, if I understood it correctly, that I feel that the spiritual journey is the most important thing for human beings. Khayal Sharif Orakzai. Hi Alan, how are you and how is Bilawal Bhutto? Please some word for him and also teach him Urdu. You are speaking Urdu far better than him. Well, I don't want to say anything about him because I don't like criticizing people, especially politicians, although I can say generally that all politicians in the world are worthy of criticism. There are very few politicians who are sincere and who really want to serve even their countries. No, they're self-serving. I do like to say that Imran Khan, in my opinion, is not like that. He is a very sincere, hardworking, capable, competent lover of Pakistan and servant of the people of Pakistan. But apart from him, there are very few, so I don't even like to talk about them. And I don't really know that much about Bilawal Bhutto anyway. Okay. Let's see. Salam from Germany. Bilal Ali says, nice to have you with us from Germany. Tayyab Ali. Salam, sir. Who are you? Well, I am a servant of God. Inshallah, I am becoming a servant of God. That is my sense of identity. I don't identify myself really as an American or a Pakistani or Indian, although I was born in India and I lived in Pakistan I was a resident of Pakistan the first 18 years of my life. So in one sense, I am Pakistani or Indian, American, because that's my citizenship. My parents were American citizens. But I don't identify myself as belonging to any nation. I identify myself as belonging to God. servant of God. That's who I am for. And I'm trying to serve God. And when you serve God, you must serve all of God's creation. Otherwise, you're not really serving God. So that's who I am. That's my understanding of my identity. And as I said at the beginning of this chat, I am a person who wants specifically to help people of different religions come together and work together in peace and love and harmony instead of fighting and misunderstanding each other and having prejudice. That's my identity. That's who I am. Tayabada, your throat problem is okay. As soon as I read throat problem, I start coughing. I still have this scratchiness in my throat, and I cough from time to time. I'm taking elderberry syrup, which helps, and I have capsules, lozenges, which relieves the coughing too, but I still have the problem for months and months. It's been going on. Osama Khan Lodi, true faith can be sustained through the love of Allah. Pir Meher Ali Shah. Thank you very much. I 100% agree. That's the real goal. When we say spiritual life, the goal of spiritual life is to develop love of Allah. Allah is the ultimate goal, and perfection of existence is to love Allah, and love of Allah includes necessarily love of all of Allah's creation. So thank you very much. Ranjit Kumar says, hey, greetings from Pakistan. Hope so you are good. Sir, kindly tell any specialty in your city. Well, my city, it's not a city, it's a town or a village really. Only a couple of thousand people live here in Esparto, California. And the specialty of Esparto is the Almond Festival. Almonds, people in this area call them almonds. They consider it a sign of it's pride for them to call what I always called almonds, and most people say almonds, they pronounce it almonds. The entirety of the almonds in the United States are grown here in this area. And every year we have, when the almond blossoms bloom, it's usually the end of February, we have a festival, the Almond Festival here in Esparto. And it's the only real specialty that Esparto has, I can say. Otherwise, it's a very small town, a village. We do have a high school and a middle school and an elementary school, which are important for the entire area around here, because Esparto is surrounded by fields. It's an agricultural area, and there are no big towns within 10 or 12 miles of here. So even though Esparto is a small town, it's important for this area, for the schools especially. So, I don't know if there are any other issues to be raised, but I guess I can just conclude by talking again about the Enneagram, that it is very, very important, in my opinion, extremely helpful, and I am getting help from it, and I advise everyone to study it. If you want to understand yourself better, why you act the way you do, why you respond the way you do to things, that is the best way I have learned to understand details about human nature and human behavior. We have to understand that human beings are different from each other. Other people don't think the way the way I think, They react in a different way. They respond based on different principles. I generally tend to think about things and respond according to my rational judgment about things. Other people don't. They respond based on their heart feelings, and other people respond based on their gut feelings very quickly. So we have to understand we're different from each other and accept that difference, and then use that understanding to help ourselves and help others for spiritual life. Very, very efficient and effective way of understanding how to help people and how to help ourselves. And it was developed, I don't know how it began, because there's some debate about the beginning. Some say it's thousands of years old. But anyway, it came to the West, from the Naqshbandi Sufis in Afghanistan, and spread from there. So it's a very important system to me right now, and I encourage you all to study it. Okay, let's see, any last question. Ranjit Kumar is asking about any eating specialty in my place. I don't know, other than almonds. Likewise, biryani is prominent in Pakistan. Well, here there are many Mexican, Hispanic people here, so a lot of people have tacos and burritos. That's a sort of specialty, I guess you could say, of Esparto. There are two restaurants, or actually one is a truck, taco truck, Jesus and Maria, Jesus and Mary, taco truck. And in fact, when my son was living here, he's now gone to university, but that was his favorite place to go to eat, have burritos there. But there's nothing specialty that I know of Esparto. All right, and one last question. Sir, just question. Please kindly tell what the life is from your perspective. Life is, for me, spiritual. As I said earlier, the purpose of life is spiritual, and the purpose of our spiritual life is to know God, to better understand and to learn to love God, and to understand ourselves as servants of God. That is, for me, what life is all about. Okay. Thank you all very, very much. And Allah Hafiz. Be happy. Try to understand yourself and Allah more and more. Rahman Rahim. God is above all most merciful. And let us be merciful and kind and loving to each other, as God is merciful and kind and loving to us. And let us forgive others. This is very, very important thing in life, in my perspective, is to forgive others. If we want to be forgiven, which of course we do, all want to be forgiven for our mistakes, we should forgive others for their mistakes. Anything they've done against us, we should let it go, as we would want to be forgiven ourselves. Okay. Oops, I see one more question, very good question, has come up from Jawad Raza Sayed. Will the scientist be able to find God? Yes. A real scientist definitely will eventually find God. I have no doubt about that. Because a real scientist means somebody who's interested in science. Science simply means knowledge, the truth. So please try to come to the truth about God, and you will be a real scientist when you do. There's no difference for me between a real scientist and a real spiritual person. Both want to know what is the truth, and the truth is God. So a real scientist will definitely, gradually maybe, but eventually come to God. And the real scientists recognize there must be some source of everything. There must be something that's holding everything together. And there's something that gives us our intelligence. A scientist prides himself or herself in their intelligence. So where is that intelligence coming from, Mr. Scientist or Miss Scientist? So when a scientist thinks like that, reflects, they definitely will become aware that there is some higher power that is giving us life and intelligence. And they will come to God. Everyone. My belief is eventually everyone will, sooner or later, by suffering a lot or by suffering a little, everyone suffers. And usually the suffering is good for us because it turns us to God and helps us understand more. So we should not try to avoid suffering. We should embrace suffering. We should take risks even if it involves suffering. We should embrace the truth, whatever it is, however unpleasant it is. However, we should not think that we can understand God, we can understand the truth if we don't take risks. We must always take risks, be willing to make decisions, which is hard for me to do, make decisions, but go ahead, take risks, make decisions. Then you will more quickly suffer more and come to God more quickly. Okay, thank you all very, very much. Allah Hafiz.